Thank you, Beth. Thank you for serving on this important organization for so long and making Dallas proud. We love our citizens that go out throughout the world and represent our state and our city. I'm honored to be here with you today, especially with this subject of I am diplomacy. You know, the Dallas region has an international heartbeat. I'll kind of talk about that in a second. And I know that we have a lot to do, but one of the most important things that we can do is to reach out throughout our globe and to represent the United States the way you want us to do that. As individuals, we all should be citizen diplomats. Yes, it would be cool to have the name ambassador in front of your name, but we can all be that diplomat. And I was also struck with the thought that cities can be diplomats as well, because people interact with our country through cities. So I'm here to share with you what Dallas is doing in the realm of city diplomacy. Diplomacy at its very root is trying to find smart solutions to tough problems, and cities have to find those solutions. We have the power to do it. We can make it happen. In Dallas, we only need 8 votes to get moving on solving a major issue. Unlike national and statewide elections, our city elections are nonpartisan. So we don't have a D or an R in front of our name. We just have city councilman or mayor. We don't run to serve anybody but those citizens. This past year, the Dallas region has hosted more than 250 emerging leaders to share our best practices and to learn their best practices. For example, one of our councilwoman, Jennifer Staubach Gates, has met with numerous international visitor groups on the topic that is near and dear to me, domestic violence. This effort connected city officials dealing with this issue. Her name is Jennifer Staubach Gates because she's the daughter of Roger Staubach. That kind of gave her a leg up in elections. A couple of years ago, we hosted the New City Summit, a summit that has been in Paris and Sao Paulo and Kuala Lumpur, and they picked Dallas as an emerging new city. And this year, we will be hosting the World Travel and Tourism Conference, the premier organization of CEOs in the travel business coming to Dallas. Every step along the way, we know we are representing our country. Now, Dallas didn't get here overnight, and it didn't get there by just putting our international sign out. We have, I think, a cred, if you will, because of what our forefathers have done. A lot of people don't know, so Dallas is part of Dallas-Fort Worth. DFW is the 4th largest market in the United States. You have New York, LA, Chicagoland, and then DFW. We have the 4th busiest airport in DFW, 57 international destinations, 150 U.S. destinations. We have the largest arts district, and we are finding arts is a tremendous way to be diplomat. Making sure that we have things like the largest collection of Islamic art with the Kier collection now at the DMA. Art continues to be not just fun, but a great political tool. It was ranked as 4th as the most attractive city for young people and the #1 place for small business this last year, creating more jobs than anybody. And then business finds its way into international. We are going to be having the first high-speed rail in the United States. It is a combination of American enterprise with Japanese technology and Japanese debt between Dallas and Houston. It will be starting in 2021. The Economist called our area Boomtown USA, noting that our inclusive approach to economic growth means middle-class families are thriving, not just billionaires and super nerds. And that's what we're all about. Now, we've got our fair share of billionaires, but I will tell you that's one of our challenges we have, this income disparity that happens in Dallas. As an international city, we have those challenges. You have to face them head on. And at times as mayor, you don't even plan for them. Like this last year, when some of you probably heard about this thing called the Syrian refugee issue. And it showed up in my backyard. Our governor decided that he didn't want any Syrian refugees. I decided a different approach after talking to our citizens. I talked to local pastors, and they said Dallas has always been a welcoming community, so we put a plan in place to do that. We have a part of our city that is really first-generation Americans, where every language in the world is spoken. This last year, we went to a holiday tree lighting, and they had no holiday trees, so we put the lights in these trees. And everybody got out and performed their local music, their historical music. And I got to meet 4 young girls. All were about 9 or 10. One was from Malaysia, and one was from Vietnam, one was from Guatemala, and one was from Syria. They were playing on their iPhones like it was no tomorrow. And I realized that is what our city is going to be. That is what our country is going to be. And that just happens because it happens. Last year, the day our ambassador from Morocco happened to be in Dallas having a conference on economics, I got the call that the first patient in the United States with Ebola had happened in a local hospital. It shocked me, like it shocked many Dallasites, and we were a bit scared, and we were running around a little bit like chickens with their heads cut off. What are you going to do when someone from West Africa ends up in your city and has Ebola? Suddenly, we understood that Ebola took on a human face by the name of Eric Duncan, with a family, with friends. And it was our job not only to deal with this medical issue, which we did, and only one individual died. Sadly, Eric died. But we came together as a community, wrapping our arms around these individuals that many shunned. It was a funny story. We couldn't find a place to put Eric's family. And my son had just bought a little fix-it-up shack in part of town. I had a brilliant idea that my wife didn't like, that we would stick them in that house for a few days. And so we got it together, and we got a call from the Catholic bishop saying, no, we'll put them in a better place. But thank God it happened, because I couldn't have gone home that night. But that's what's happening, and that's how we become citizen diplomats. As I mentioned, we've got a big disparity between the haves and the have-nots. We've got 15 billionaires live in our city. That doesn't count the half-billionaires. But we also have the largest percent of population of children in poverty. And we have to deal with that issue. So we have created a mayor's task force on poverty to deal with short-term issues that we can fix. There are long-term answers to this, but we want to deal with this quickly. That's the type of learning that we get from other places and that we are sharing with the world. What you do day in and day out is fundamental to that term, peace and prosperity. That's what everybody wants. It doesn't happen because politicians stand up and pontificate. It happens because human relations are built where trust is engendered and the right decisions are made long-term. Just this past fall, local emergency responders and floodplain developers worked with a delegation from Nepal dealing with this same issue. That's what we are proud to do in Dallas. Global Ties is a great partner. You set a great example for the world, and hopefully we will continue for years to become a better and better partner. Thank you very much.